Alright guys, so you clicked on this video because you're curious about how I catch the bottom. So what a bottom is it is the low point that a stock, ETF, or crypto hits before turning around. Before we get to catching the bottom, guys, full disclaimer, I am not a professional trader or financial advisor. Everything you're gonna learn in this video is for entertainment purposes only. My personal experience with my strategy is that 80% of the time I catch the bottoms, the other 20% of the time I catch nothing. Your use of the strategies and tools in this video may yield different results. Just know that whatever results you get, I am not responsible for your losses or poor decisions. So guys, the strategy consists of two things: EMAs, which represents the exponential moving average, and Fibonacci retracements, which I call Fib retracements. Now they sound complicated just by their naming, but they're really not, and I'm not gonna give you definitions because that's just gonna scare you away. But what you do need to know is that with the EMAs, there's three to focus on: the EMA 20, the EMA 50, and the EMA 100. So guys, with the Fibonacci retracements, there's five you need to write down: the 0.236, the 0.382, the 0.5, 0.618, and the 0.786. Make sure you have those written down because we're gonna talk about them later, the EMAs as well. So you might be asking, Donald, where did you learn all this? Well, I learned this from IM Academy, which, believe it or not, is an MLM, multi-level marketing. What does that mean? That means that it's a program whereby people try to sign you up to join their program, which is exactly what happened. Except with IM Academy, it was hefty. It cost $175 per month, and I paid for it for a full year. And you must be thinking right now, Donald, you paid for a scam. And that's exactly how I thought when I first started out too. Except the guy that started off and signed me up really sold it to me because he's still a friend, and he really said that, Donald, I know MLMs has a very negative connotation as a scam, but this is an education. What they're selling you is education. And the education that they were talking about was trading, was learning the markets, learning technical analysis. And at that point, I basically had no other side income, and this program is something that I could afford. And my thought to myself was, all right, Donald, you can make a bet on yourself right now. And if you don't bet on yourself today, you're never gonna take a bet on yourself. And that's when I signed up. And so I stuck it out for a year and learned a bunch of things. One of the things I learned was that I sucked at trading and I failed at it. The other thing I learned was how to dollar cost average using Fibonacci retracements and EMAs, right? What I'm about to teach you next. And right now, this is your chance to take a bet on yourself, except you don't have to outlay any money, because what I'm about to teach you next is something that's gonna help you for the rest of your life. But you can literally leave this video right now and never learn about it. So I hope you wrote down the 3 EMAs and the 5 fib levels that I was talking about earlier, because they are really important. But before we get to the climax, we have to define dollar cost averaging for those who are new and might not know what it is. So according to Investopedia, dollar cost averaging involves investing the same amount of money in a target security at regular intervals over a period of time regardless of price. But what it fails to tell you is that when you DCA this way, dollar cost average this way, you're always making market orders, and the fees for market orders are always more expensive than limit orders. And the fees for limit orders are made when you combine dollar cost averaging DCA with my strategy with Fibs and EMA. Alright, so what you see here is the Bitcoin chart. You can see that I have my EMAs, which are all these lines that are squiggling around the chart. They're also represented up here in the top. We have red being the 20, orange being the 50, and green being the 100. And you can see them ending here at the end of the chart. You can see that the 100 and the 20 are right on top of each other. Now if we draw our fibs, basically this is an arc. So you take it from all the way to the bottom to all the way to the top, and you can see that the 236, this red line, is right next to the EMA 20 and the EMA 100. That is a good sign. This is good because 40% of the time it's gonna be the bottom. 60% of the time it's probably gonna fall more. So this, on the other hand, is having more confluence because it has both the 100 EMA and the 20 EMA being on top of each other. So it gives it more strength. But still, if it was just the 20 or the 100 and the 236 fib line, there's a 40% chance that this is going to be a double bottom and a 60% chance that it's just going to fall through. So if you want to make that 40% chance into an 80% chance, this is what you got to do. You got to zoom out and draw fib from the bottom to the top. So what we're doing here is we're using more data to get more accuracy. So what we're gonna do is, let's get rid of this. You can see here that the 618 is hovering over the 20 EMA and the 100 EMA like before. A 618 and a 50 EMA, or a 0.5 and a 50 EMA are very good. That is what is going to give you that 80% chance that it is the bottom and 20% chance that it's gonna fall through. So these are the levels that I DCA into, dollar cost average into. When it hits a 618 and a 50 EMA, I know that that's a good chance that that's the bottom. I should probably set some limit orders to buy more here. Or like I said before, if it was a 236 and a 20 or 100 EMA, if I wanna take the risk, 40% chance, then I take the risk, right? But if you can get even better, a 618 and a 50, that would be golden. But those opportunities don't come too often. So the art of drawing fibs are very subjective. You need to practice with it. So with that said, can you use ChatGPT and AI to help you with this? No, you really can't. Then Donald, why does your video have AI in the title? Well, let me tell you this. So I had trouble using ChatGPT and AI to find the right fibs. So what I did is I used ChatGPT and AI to program my own AI that you can use for free in order to find the right fib and EMA levels. So with dollar cost average, what you can do is actually go and add crypto and equities to a watch list. What I have here is Bitcoin with symbol BTC, and we have all of these little tooltips here that you can use to really read into what it actually does. Now I'm gonna set this at 0.5 for the Fibonacci level, and we're gonna set the EMAs to 50. And the threshold percentage is 5%, meaning that if the EMA and the fib level is within 5% of each other, then we will actually send you a notification or set the limit order for you, whatever you choose. And of course, if you set the threshold percentage to like 1%, they're basically gonna be like on top of each other, which means that you're not gonna have a lot of limit orders set. But if you set it to something like 15%, for example, that's a very big difference between the fib levels and the EMAs. So you might get a lot more orders set with a higher percentage. So the strategy that you learned today can be used with literally anything. Stocks, ETF, crypto, you name it. Two ETFs that comes to mind is DGRW and SCHD, and if you want to learn how these two ETFs will be forever profitable, then check out the video that I made here.